some dinosaur, I guess. As soon as I landed on Hunter and McCall, it was an automatic no. For all you people who disagree, no, go fuck. Stephanie Kramer was a beautiful woman. For those who don't know, Hunter was a cop show. It was a cop show on NBC back in the 80s, went 7 seasons. The product of its time. For all of the super chats tonight. This was overall, I thought, a good episode of Raw. As a final episode of Raw, it didn't really move me much as far as Elimination Chamber. I'm already looking forward to the show. Predictions for the pay-per-view are already up on the show. Or the podcast this week. We got the clip up on YouTube earlier this afternoon. So in case you missed episode 795, it was the Super Bowl, preoccupied, Super Bowl parties or whatever. Shows up a little over 90 minutes. Good shit on there. Go check it out. Download notes. And I'm going to be back with you on Wednesday night. We got a lot of live streaming. We have Dynamite on Wednesday. We have SmackDown on Friday. Elimination Chamber on Saturday. And then podcast on Sundays. You're getting a lot of views. Trying to make up for the me that you didn't get last week. You're getting a lot of views. Until then, be well. Stay safe. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your Valentine's Day. I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday night for the animation.
Anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to jumpcasino.com. Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus. Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free.
Step 4. Unleash your excitement. Jump Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Temple life. Visit jumpcasino.com.
And tonight was in Montreal, site of tomorrow night's Elimination Chamber. We got a little preview of the reaction to Roy and Sami Zayn in the main event tomorrow night. They teased it all throughout the show, telling us all night long Sami Zayn was going to be coming home. Sami Zayn was going to be impressing all of his fans. He was going to be rallying the troops. This was the big homecoming in his hometown for Sami Zayn. They saved it for the very end of the show, which was smart. It was a very smart thing for them to do because Sami Zayn has become a ratings draw. Something very weird has happened over the last 9 months or so. Throughout this entire Bloodline storyline, Sami Zayn years and years. Last year, this time, he was feuding with Johnny Knoxville in a comedy on TV. But a funny thing has happened along the way. All of this storytelling with the Bloodline angle, Sami Zayn has become a ratings draw. When he is on TV, the numbers go up. And so it was very smart for them to save his segment for the very end of the show. Now, is that momentum going to continue after he loses to Roman Reigns tomorrow night? That remains to be seen. But I would compare it tonight and the reaction that this man received to a Hogan-level pop in Montreal in 2002. It took me back to the Bell Center, the very building they're going to be in for Elimination Chamber tomorrow night, and the very building they were in tonight. It took me back to 2003, No Way Out, when Stone Cold Steve Austin, for the first time in 7 months since he walked out of the company, made his return. Glass shattered, and out came Austin for his match. They blew the roof off the Bell Center.
I know.
That's what this reminded me of. He came out to old music, Worlds Apart, which he had to. He had to. I thought they were going to save it for tomorrow. He came out to his old music tonight, and these people showered him with love. And when this show was over tonight, all I can think is, how do you watch the main event of this show tonight? How do you watch the final segment that we got on this television show and not get excited for Roman Reigns against Sami Zayn tomorrow night at Elimination Chamber? I've been waiting for this match for a very long time. What we saw tonight was only a taste of what it's going to be like in that building tomorrow night. Unfortunately for Sami, Montreal hasn't won a championship in 30 years, and tomorrow will be the night. But these are the moments that I love in wrestling. These are the moments. Things like what we saw tonight, things like what we're going to see tomorrow night when Roman and Sammy hit the ring. These are the moments that to me are so much fun. And look, regardless of what happens, this has been the best WWE story in over a decade. But in a perfect world, I would love to see Sami Zayn be the one to take down Roman Reigns. In a perfect world, I would love to see Sami Zayn be the one after all these months. The last guy you ever would have expected when this story began. The guy was a joke. They were showing highlights on the show tonight of how this whole thing started in April of last year. Sami Zayn was a joke. Who would have expected that we would be where we are now, where this guy's a ratings mover? He's in the main event on pay-per-view, challenging for the championship. Perfect world, he'd get the big win. He would get his Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. But you still have the question then of, what do you do next? This is not the big show tomorrow. The big show is in Los Angeles, at the beginning of April. You've got 2 nights. 2 nights of WrestleMania. That is your big show. That is what you are building to. When they go to Raw and SmackDown every single week, you don't see a giant Elimination Chamber sign hanging in the arena. You see a giant WrestleMania sign. We can't lose sight of the fact that that is what they are building to. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes is going to WrestleMania, and he's going to be challenging for the championship. The person that he's going to be challenging is Roman Reigns. You don't get this far, this deep 900-plus days into this run with Roman Reigns and take the titles away from him. This close to WrestleMania, your biggest show of the year. You don't do that. Roman Reigns was not on the show. There was no Paul Heyman, there were no Usos, there was no Solo Sikoa. Last week, Paul Heyman told the Usos, stay home. We don't need you. We got things well in hand here in Montreal. And they did. No Jimmy, no Jet. I think they're saving them for tomorrow night. I think we're going to see both Usos in Canada, Jimmy and Jimmy. They will factor into the finish of that match tomorrow night, which will not end in Sammy's favor. I think that's when we get this one. There were a few other things that happened on the show tonight, though. It wasn't all about the segment at the end. We had Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Madcap Moss. Gunther, 252 days as the Intercontinental Champion. He will live to see day number 253 as the Honky Tonk Man wipes a little bit of sweat from his brow. And a little worried. Honky's record is safe for a while. I mean, he'd have to go all the way to the fall to have a shot at breaking that record. And if it were up to me, he's not going to make it past WrestleMania. But Gunther is still the Intercontinental Champion, and we got our first tease, and this was unexpected. There was something unexpected on the show tonight. We got our first tease of a WrestleMania direction for Bray Wyatt. So we'll talk about all this. This is your Friday Night SmackDown review here for February 17th. So let's get right into this. It's going to be a busy weekend here because not only do we have SmackDown to talk about tonight, of course, tomorrow night is the Elimination Chamber, and we are going to have, there is the official thumbnail for the Elimination Chamber review tomorrow. As soon as the pay-per-view goes off the air, you guys know where to go. You come on back here, and we will talk about the pay-per-view and what will be a very interesting main event. SmackDown tonight open with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on the call. Still no Pat McAfee, who made his return to Royal Rumble. He's back on commentary for the pay-per-view. We have not seen him since, which is very interesting. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's being sued by Greg Paul. So maybe Pat is preparing his defense. It takes time. You have to get hired attorneys, get all the papers together. It's a pain in the ass. But maybe that's what he's busy. He's dealing with Greg Paul. I don't know if they actually have that situation.
Agent.
Wade Barrett, Pat McAfee. But I like Wade Barrett.
System restored.
I don't know how they're going to resolve it, but I'd like to see Wade Barrett stick around on SmackDown. Michael Cole said that the 30,000-pound Elimination Chamber was hanging above the ring. I don't know if it's 30,000 pounds or not, but it looks pretty big. It was hanging above the ring tonight, ominously. Played Bret Hart's music, Natty. I mean, come on, you hit the beginning of that music in Canada. You're gonna put a scare in me, but it wasn't Bret Hart, it was Natty. Natty came out with the opener, which was Natalya and Shotzi against Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Things did not go so well the last time we saw Ronda Rousey and Shotzi in the ring together at Survivor Series. Thankfully, this wasn't as bad. Ronda was met by chants of "You can't wrestle" from the Montreal faithful. Shotzi trapped both of Ronda's arms behind her and she dropped her right on the back of her neck with a Tiger suplex. And then she transitioned into the Bryan Danielson cattle mutilation. So I've seen that Shotzi in her time off recently from her injuries and adding some new moves in her arsenal. So she got the cattle mutilation. Ronda, though, worked her way out of it, got back to her feet. She got thrown to the floor, though, by Shotzi's forward momentum. Got sent outside. And then Shotzi hit her with a suicide dive. I hold my breath. But I hold my breath every time I see Shotzi do any kind of dive or any kind of big aerial moves, because it doesn't look pretty. And you never really know how it's going to go. Some of it looks kind of reckless, but tonight was okay. She hit the dive. Ronda and Shayna both ended up on the floor. Shotzi came off the top rope with a dive onto both of them, heading into the first commercial break. Later on, Shotzi was on the ropes, and she had Ronda on the apron. So Shotzi got a picture. She's inside the ring, standing on the middle rope, reaching over. I don't know if she was preparing for a suplex or what she was trying to do. She ends up giving Ronda a DDT on the apron, spiked her right on her head. Later on, Natty got Ronda in the sharpshooter here in Canada, of course, to a big pop. And Ronda almost tapped out. Shayna, though, broke things up. Natty and Shotzi got Ronda up. They were going to try the old Heart Foundation heart attack finish. Shayna, though, pulled Natty to the floor before she could complete the move. Ronda got Shotzi down to the armbar, and Shotzi was forced to tap out. And you know that if this was Vince McMahon booking this show, that when this match was over, 24 hours here before the elimination, Ronda Rousey would have broken Natty's foot. She would have taken her spot in the chamber tomorrow night, and Ronda Rousey would have won the women's elimination chamber match. And she would be going to WrestleMania to challenge Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Thankfully, that is not yet the case. Vince McMahon is not yet back as the head of creative. And so thankfully that didn't happen here. I will say, Ronda took some bumps in this match I wasn't expecting her to take, so kudos to her for that. The great they aired a video package, taking us all the way back to April. This whole bloodline story, things were not going so well for Sami Zayn. Coming off losing his Intercontinental Championship to Ricochet, he lost to Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. He was utterly and thoroughly embarrassed. He was at a low point in his career. And they showed highlights of the segment where he intruded upon the bloodline backstage, and he met with Roman Reigns, and he made a proposal. And the proposal was to help out the bloodline and become an ally to them. He was trying to get back some of his, he was trying to get back some of his credit. He thought by helping the bloodline, that could be one way to go about it. They showed us all the highlights of Sami taking bullets for the bloodline, chair shot here, a chair shot there. He was doing what he could to ingratiate himself to Roman Reigns. And all the highlights. I love how they brought us up to speed on this entire story. This was only the first part. This was one of multiple videos they played over the course of the show. But I love it. I love how this story, you can take this story, it goes all the way back to April. That's how far back you can trace the Sami Zayn story. The bloodline story itself goes back even longer. I said this to somebody else a couple of weeks ago, after the Royal Rumble. This bloodline stuff, this is not really the Sami Zayn story. It really isn't. Sami Zayn has become an important part of the overall bloodline arc. This is not the Sami Zayn story, it's the Jey Uso story.
We need to find out what happened to the team that went
to
repair the main shade mill.
2020 or 2021,
your current position.
Jey Uso stuff really started in late 2020. And how Roman was just completely addicted to Jey or Jey. This is really the Jey Uso story, more than anything else. Which is why I think Jey will factor into Hit Row was in the ring, and they were rapping, not helpless. Bray Wyatt's symbol very quickly flashed off the screen, just to give you a sense of what was about to happen. Dollar rapped about Brett screwed Brett, and Feedback talked about Montreal being Toronto's side chick. Thankfully, they were interrupted by the lights going out. And we heard Bray Wyatt's music briefly, and then we saw Bray Wyatt, who was on the apron on one side of the ring, and we had Uncle Howard, who was on the apron on the other side. Shout out to Down Bad, who just became a Sound of Legend channel member. Down Bad. Good. Thank you, brother. Welcome to the family. Appreciate it. So we got Bray Wyatt. We got Uncle Howard. We got Hit Row. Right? They're on death row. They're standing in the middle of the ring. We had Bray and Uncle Howdy. They cleared the ring. They tossed top rope Dollar over the top rope. That took care of him. Michael Cole could not help himself. He could not help but take yet another jab at Top Dollar when he went out over the top rope. It's become one of my favorite things about SmackDown. It really has. He threw Ashanti the Adonis to Uncle Howdy, who dropped Ashanti with beating the sister out of him. And the crowd chanted, "Holy shit." I know this because Fox muted my feed 15 seconds straight. Bray got on the mic, he said, "You're welcome, Montreal." Thank you, Bray. Now that I am once again in control of myself, in control of my family, I wanted to be the first to tell you this. Tomorrow night, Bobby Lashley, see, he didn't say it the way he promised. A little disappointed in that. He didn't go, "Bobby." He just said Bobby. He goes, "Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, whichever one of you walks out alive as the winner, just know that you should run." Now, cut to the back. Show Drew McIntyre and Sheamus getting ready for their upcoming tag. So that was unexpected. That's something I did not see coming. My prediction, if you remember, for the Elimination Chamber is that we get no winner between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. That then gives them a reason to finish the feud once and for all. They don't give it match. They get a use. There has to be a winner. That carries them into WrestleMania to finish out the road. If I'm right, and I look at this little teaser they gave us, and we can very well end up getting a triple threat match at WrestleMania if there's no winner. Brock and Bobby. You can do Brock, Bobby, and Bray. Triple B. Isn't that what MJF calls it? I think it is. Right? Is that what MJF calls it now? Big Burberry, though. So, that's a possibility. That we could end up with a triple threat match. If not a triple threat, if we're going to get a winner and one of these guys is going to wrestle Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, it's probably going to be Brock Lesnar. That would be my guess. That was a match, by the way, that was rumored at one point many years ago for WrestleMania. That was rumored to be a match at WrestleMania 32. If you remember in the Royal Rumble that year in Orlando, Wyatt family eliminated Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. So they gave us a little tease there, and then nothing ever came out.
Vital signs critical.
Now, look, I know a lot of people are going to be excited because Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt will be a match that we haven't seen before. It was teased years ago. They gave it to us.
Oh, the fast clap.
Brock Lesnar against Brock Lesnar against Bray Wyatt. It sounds like a terror match. I'm sorry. That sounds like an awful match. I just don't think those two would mesh well. I really don't. And I'm not even putting that all on Bray. Even the way Brock wrestles, I don't think that's going to be a good match. I really don't. If it's a triple threat, then it's a little bit better because you got that third guy in there. You put Lashley in there, it makes it a little more interesting to me. So if that's that's the direction they're going in here. I would rather you should threat match personally. If you do Brock and Bray, I'm not even sure what you do with Bobby. I'm not sure where you plug him in. Same thing with Brock. If Lashley wins tomorrow night, you do Lashley and Bray, what do you do with Brock? Because I don't think they're doing Brock and Gunther. So what do you do with Lesnar? So a triple threat may be the answer to that whole. But yeah, Brock one-on-one with Bray sounds fucking old. Well, whatever the match ends up being, maybe that's going to be the same.
Watch.
Maybe Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt, and Bobby Lashley are going to have themselves in the same wrestle. They wrestle.
Computer detected.
After the break, we have Madcap Moss
Stick eyes
and
into
Dylan
the comm system.
in the middle.
Hopefully we can get a 20 on our team.
Moss said that nobody expected him to win last week. Emma said that she did.
Established.
She said nobody looks like
Can you
you.
hear me?
Nobody moves like
Manny
you.
Ortega with the division.
It's your time to shine.
Thank God. It's mine.
He said, you know what?
I'm
It
almost
is.
left on
It
our
is
team.
my time to shine.
Couldn't get the note back online.
He said, and there's probably just as many people
Hey,
counting
thanks for your help, man.
Let him down. Said, you were wrong last week, you're going to keep being wrong until you realize that Madcap Moss is a superstar. I thought these two both came off as annoying heels. I don't know if that was the idea, but that's how they came off.
Extreme heat signature
I
detected.
have to imagine it was done
Find a way
with.
around the fire. There should be an
Because
access
these
hatch
two
to
came
the lower
off
level of
as
the
a
bunker.
heel
Hopefully it's
character.
clear.
By the way, in his promo, he's talking about, Madcap Moss is super, not what that fucking name. It looked like they might have been going back to the Riddick Moss. I mean, and they even dropped the Riddick mention on TV many weeks ago. And then nothing came out. Now he's still dead. As long as you're Madcap Moss, you might be a fucking superstar. I don't know why they changed his attire. They got rid of the.
Now watch this corner right here. This where you come out at. Back up a little bit. Come on,
Yeah,
go behind.
giant secrets the same way. Spray's in full swing, so takes time for self-care this spring. Now through April 22nd, buy
I
two
need one
self-care
more.
items and save $2. Shop in-store or online for
I need one
self-care
more.
essentials like Tom's toothpaste, Soft
know
Soap
what it is?
liquid hand soap, Colgate Optic White toothpaste, and Colgate Total toothpaste, and save $2 when you buy two participating items. Offer ends April 22nd.
Watch.
Promotions may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit Safeway.com for more details.
There you go.
Secrets. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of online marketing. Don't use companies. Don't entertain them. But a better trend would be
Come out this door right here.
It's like having a mini social casino. Showcasing on
Come back out the steps. Down the steps.
Absolutely free. It's the most
I don't know if I'm getting funny. It's all Tuesday.
It's now at showcasino.com. Sponsored by Showcasino.
The arena, Michael Cole
Suicide.
throwing to reputed MMA reporter Ariel Helwani, who is in the crowd surrounded by a bunch of crazy guys, one of whom may have flipped off the crowd. We don't know exactly what happened. Right? I don't
See the
know
last week.
who did what. All I know is that they blacked out my screen.
Nope. One
Eventually,
more.
though, it came back. Somebody obviously did or said something to him. Tony Khan was also watching
There
SmackDown.
you go. That's it.
You know, Rampage went on a little bit earlier. I actually watched Rampage before SmackDown. Rampage was fucking terrible, but I watched Rampage at 7 o'clock. They were on early this week. And I'll talk about something else in a second. Tony Khan saw Ariel Helwani, and he decided to have a little bit of fun with it. And this is what Tony Khan had to say about Ariel Helwani being on SmackDown. He said, "You're a fraud, Ariel Helwani. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone." And then look at what he did at the end of the show.
In your group.
He didn't know himself. He used the hashtag AEW Rampage, which had already aired. The show was over. Rampage was done. I don't know why he put that hashtag. Just read some desperation. The show was at 10 o'clock. Now I can understand. You know, watch Rampage. Rampage is already over. And you're a fraud, Ariel Helwani. Now for some context, for those of you who may have already forgotten. Ariel did an interview with Tony Khan back in October. And he's not happy with this interview with Tony Khan because he was asking him questions. Tony was not giving him any answers. And he said that it was one of the most frustrating interviews here. We went off like the day after they dropped on his television. And so Tony Khan having some fun. And he does exactly Tony Schiavone. So I read that as kind of like a wing. He's just kind of joking around. But honestly, Tony Khan, I don't know. Why take a shot at Tony Schiavone? Look at Tony Schiavone. Tony Khan is probably legitimately, pissed off with Ariel the way Ariel went off on
I think I'm safe now. But please hurry.
But it was the rampage aspect I
Sit
caught me
tight
off,
and just try to stay calm.
given that the show is already over. But that became a big story in and of itself. Tony Khan showing his ass again on social media. What are you doing? Speaking of Tony Khan is going to be making another major announcement on Dynamite this Wednesday. In case you missed it, there it is. They announced it on Rampage tonight. There it is, everybody. Tony Khan has a major announcement. Tony Khan has something to say. Because when the ratings are down, as they were this week, it's time to break glass in case of emergency and bust out another major announcement.
Sprinkler system detected.
Okay. My guess, I eventually guess it's all right. He's going to make an announcement about Ring of Honor television, which would be kind of lame because he already made the announcement to Sports Illustrated. Ring of Honor, for those who don't know, is finally launching their new weekend television show. It's starting out on March 2nd. For those who haven't. So Thursday, March 2nd is the new date for ROH. It's going to be airing weekly on their Honor Club streaming service. So if you
Gotta
like
put
to
out
watch
the
the
flames.
new Ring of
I
Honor
don't know if Maya has any
television,
fireproof
pay
gear.
$9.99 a month. They have a huge library of all the Ring of Honor footage going all the way back to 2002 for 2,500 hours. So if you are a diehard Ring of Honor, it's not a bad deal, right? You get all the whole back end of Ring of Honor content, everything, all of it. Actually, wonder if all in. Technically, with Ring of Honor is the ones who helped out with the production of All In. So I actually wonder if All In is still live. But to me, if you're a diehard fan, it's not a bad deal. If you're not a diehard fan, you really don't care about the ROH catalog. It's going to just boil down to whether or not you think you want to pay $9.99 to watch Ring of Honor every single week. It's a gamble because you couldn't get a TV.
Another agent has
It's
joined
an
you.
interesting little experiment. We'll see how it does. I don't know if that's the announcement. I'm just saying, it's coming up pretty quick. Right? Next weekend, they're doing the tapings, 25th and the 26th. It just so happens he's making a major announcement this Wednesday. I would assume that's the announcement. And maybe as part of the announcement, he'll announce a big main event or a big Claudio title defense with that first. So we'll see. Drew McIntyre
I have to move.
and
Someone's
Sheamus
trying to break in.
against the Viking Raiders. Sheamus loves to talk about how he has banger after banger after banger. Well, you can add another one to the list. Although the two commercial breaks in the middle of this match kind of killed it a little bit, but I still thought it was a very good match. Sheamus went for the bro kick right at the opening bell. Ivar avoided it, missed the kick of his own though. Sheamus tossed Ivar to the floor, went out after him. All four men were brawling around ringside. The Vikings regrouped on the floor leading into the first break,
I'm safe.
during which the Raiders took control of the
Coming
match.
after me. I don't know
McIntyre and
what
Eric then tagged in at the same time. McIntyre threw Eric across the ring, caught both Viking Raiders with a pair of neck breakers. McIntyre hit a Michinoku driver on Eric for a close to 2 count. Ivar then caught Sheamus with boots to the face. Sheamus cut off Ivar when he was running up to the top rope. And Sheamus hit white noise off the middle rope to a pop. As they cut to commercial break number 2. Back from the break, Sheamus and McIntyre hit the 10 beats to Eric and Ivar and way better hit break. So they should probably just rename the move at this point. Because I feel like now, over the last few months, it's no longer 10 beats every single match that we see them doing 15, 20, 25 beats. So that has a point. I don't know why they still call them 10 beats. Sheamus hit a flying knee drop to Ivar for a hair ball. and then he went for a bro kick. Jericho tried to catch a power bomb. He did not work. Unfortunately, they got to the spot. Well, they both fell. It was ugly because Jim Ross was there. Holy shoe up. Was not holding shoe up for that. Holy shit. Ray just gifted 10 Sound Off Channel memberships. Ray. Oh my god. I saw this sea of green out of the corner of my eye, and I said, what's going on here? Yeah, 10 new channel. You have Ray to thank. GW. That's what they call our little membership. All green. Green board. Ray thing. Anyway, Jarrett recovered. They blocked the spot, but Jarrett recovered. He hit the power bomb. McIntyre went for the flameboard kick. Viking still rolled out to the serious one. McIntyre said,
Oh, he can't handle the saddle. You bitch. You bitch can't handle the saddle.
Valhalla's out.
Thank you.
Then she caused a brief distraction. Ivar then was able to slam McIntyre from the middle rope. Sheamus now broke up the pin. Ivar then hit a flying splash on McIntyre for a close two. The Raiders went for the Ragnarok.
Oh, shit.
McIntyre. Sheamus hit the broke kick on Ivar, which allowed McIntyre to play for on Eric for win. Botched spot aside. These four were out here tonight wrestling for the Tuesday elimination. Because none of these four men are on vacation. So they were out there. This basically was their game. And I thought they had a very good tag for this. Part 2 of the Sami Zayn Bloodline history with Big Angle at the end of the Royal Rumble that they replayed. Sami attacking Roman on SmackDown, beating him down, and Roman accepting his challenge to the championship match at the elimination.
I'll send a team to assist Maya.
Casper the Barbarian has renewed his channel membership for 3 months. And Casper the Barbarian. Member of the Monday Night Raw roster, but she's also in the Elimination Chamber Club, and Asuka was on SmackDown. She was out for a match with Liv Morgan. Of course, the match tomorrow night is for a shot at Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But, even though Asuka came down and made her entrance, first, it's to the back. Kayla Braxton is interviewing Rey Mysterio. And they showed highlights of Rey and Santos Escobar. I actually didn't see this until the other day. And some of you may not have even known that this happened. But there was a segment in the locker room after the Fatal 4-Way main event on SmackDown last week. Remember, they were crowning a #1 contender for the Intercontinental title. Madcap Moss got Rey was in the match. Escobar was in the match. Carrying crosses. After the match, we had Rey and Santos Escobar in the back. And Escobar presented Rey with the ultimate sign of respect by gifting him his mask. Now, of course, Escobar doesn't wear a mask during his matches, but he has a mask that he'll wear for his matches. Rey, in turn, then presented Escobar with one of his masks as a show of respect. I like the passing of the torch. Passing of the Mets. And I don't know if they're turning Escobar babyface. That's kind of what it felt like to me. This was certainly not something you would expect a heel to do. And I hope it doesn't prevent them eventually from giving us a pay-per-view match between Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. I think that could be a WrestleMania match next year. That could be a SummerSlam match. Right? They're going to be a big stadium this summer. I want to see these two work together. This was very cool. Live, though, in the back, Rey said that meant the world to him. Competition is always welcome, and he said respect. And before he could finish his thought, Karrion Kross and Scarlett interrupted. Kross said that once upon a time he wanted to be involved. But then he saw the look of disgust in Rey's son's eyes for his dad. He thought better of it. He called Rey a pathetic excuse for a father. But then again, That's just Scarlet. He said, do something about it, Ray. TikTok. You know, these threats would mean more if Barry Cross had actually won a match with a big match. And he hasn't. So these threats kind of fall on deaf ears. Back to the ring, they had Asuka standing there the entire time like me. Carmella was on commentary in the match. She told Wade Barry to stop simping her. Or was it stop simping her or simping on her or whatever. That's going to be her thing, right? Stop simping. So she told him to stop. So Rodriguez came out during the match to talk with Carmella. She was one of many. She was one of many people who came out during this match. Ross came out. She was kissing Michael Cole on his head and acting all crazy. In the ring, Liv hit a code breaker off the second rope, which Michael Cole inadvertently. Oh, wearing the same shirt. That's super chat. Look at this. Look at that. Wearing the same shirt. Hey, Bobbert with the $28 Tsunami Splash super chat. With the new United States champion after the Elimination Chamber tomorrow, Bronson Reed. Hey, Bobbert, thank you. So, as I said, she hit a code breaker to Asuka from the second rope, and Michael Cole referred to it as the Oblivion. That got her a near fall heading into the commercial. We come back from the break. By the way, Scar, this is not, it's the color on the camera. This is not a pink shirt. It's actually red. It's a red shirt. Why it looks pink. You know, Bret Hart made pink look cool, so the pink is fine. Nothing wrong with the pink. But it's actually red. It's hard to tell. We come back, Asuka is working over Liv's arm. Natty came out because why not? She didn't want to be left out. So now she walks out to the ring. She's also in the chamber tomorrow. Asuka hit some kicks to the chest, which fired up Liv, who slapped her. We got a crazy stare down between the two. The crowd was dead for this. You know, all the women outside the ring got distracted and probably didn't know. Asuka countered the Oblivion into the Asuka Lodge, but had no choice but to tap. I'm a little bit worried because Asuka is fighting to win the Elimination Chamber. And now, Asuka has been put over strong, I think, on 2 straight shows. Usually that's not a good sign heading into the pay-per-view. If they put you over strong before the pay-per-view, it usually doesn't end well. So, I'm a little bit worried, but I'm going to stick with Asuka. I think she's the right one. I'm the Elimination Chamber. This was not a great match. This match really was just a backdrop for all of the crap that was going on outside. After the match, Raquel and Liv had a stare down in the ring. And Michael Cole again misidentified a code breaker. Liv dropped her with a code breaker. And he misidentified the code breaker for the second time as the Oblivion. This time he recognized his mistake. And he corrected himself and said that it wasn't the Oblivion. And he said that he was just all flustered. He was all flustered for the whole fucking match. Cole then threw it back to the fraud, Ariel Helwan, who was in a different part of the audience this time. And he said, when Sami Zayn wins tomorrow night, they're going to party like it's 1993. 1990. When the Montreal Canadiens last won the Stanley Cup, as I said at the beginning of the review, 30 years. Oh, there he is. He's Uncle Stout. Always nice when Uncle Stout makes an appearance here on the screen. If the shirt is pink, the camera is seen. If your shirt is red, he says that the camera is seen better. That is a red camera. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a $350 camera. It's just very. I have the color intensity. It's probably up too much. Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Mad Cow during the ring introduction, and the Mad Cow. And they cheered. See, I knew I liked something about this Canadian. I knew. Moss got Gunther in the air for a vertical suplex at one point, held him up there for a few seconds. Daddy hit the punchline. And Gunther became the first man to kick out of the punchline. So this guy's entire career has been punchlines. Gunther chopped him down. He went to go climb. Boss caught him, cut him off, and delivered a fall-away slam from the middle row. He followed that with a cover, but
Civilians in
it
distress.
was not enough. Some of us were trying to look back at the dead. I don't think the color intensity has anything to do with looking jacked. I don't. Well, no. Tan maybe it makes me look a little more tan. Jack,
Right?
there's no camera trick.
Right there.
Check on them.
There you go.
Not much I can do about that. Gunther got a sleeper hold on. Fans began singing the Ole. They were ready to end this. They were champing at the bit to get Sammy's hang up. They were no longer interested in seeing Madcap on a fight. They were no longer interested in seeing Madcap lost. So finally, Gunther saw that he was ready to get a sleeper hold on this guy. This guy was almost out, right? So Nora Suzuki, don't put the sleeper hold on you. You're almost out. They'll turn you around and give you the down-style pile driver. Well, there's no pile drivers in WWE, so they gave him the power bomb on Stack. He pinned him, and he is still our Intercontinental Champion.
Detected.
Gunther can do no wrong. It's impossible for him to have bad matches, right? Some matches are TV matches, they're good matches, and then he has matches that are fucking outstanding. But I've not seen a bad one. This is probably one of the best matches in Madcap lost his entire career. But as I said, people were ready for Sammy. They didn't care about this. And Sammy is what they got. They got Sami Zayn to close out the show. His final parting message. For his big championship showdown with Roman Reigns in Elimination Chamber tomorrow night. He came out to Worlds Apart, his old music going all the way back to the NXT day. He comes over and gave it back to him again. He came out, he got an incredible reaction from Montreal. And they seem very interested. They want to build, want to get away. Get away from the game or the top of the 9 o'clock hour. So, the crowd went in and out of the chance of Olay, Sammy, you deserve it. It went on for so long, he broke the feed. They muted the crowd. And again, Fox went to a black screen. What else is new? That's the third time they did that on this show. Maybe fourth, actually, now that I think about it. The third or fourth time on the same show. I don't know how it is now. I know some of you are not in this country. Some of you are watching in Canada. Some of you may be watching in the UK. Which if you are, thank you, because I know it's probably very late where you are. But on Fox, they blacked out the screen. And I think what happened is there was a fuck you Roman chant. So they muted the sound. I believe on Sportsnet, though, which I think is in Canada, they did air it. On Fox, they did not. They just blacked the whole thing.
Hey there, it's Ryan Seacrest for Safeway. Spring is in full swing, which means it's time for spring cleaning. Don't worry, we've got everything you need to stock up on spring cleaning essentials because a clean home is a happy home. Shop in store or online for spring cleaning favorites like Method All-Purpose Cleaner, Swiffer Heavy-Duty Mopping Cloths, Lysol Bathroom Cleaner, Scotch Brite Sponge, and Clorox Disinfecting Wipes, and Save. Offer ends April 22nd. Promotions may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit Safeway.com for more detail. Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck. With Vince and cannolis, spins mean everything now. Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather Swan and Sunday. Cool thunder to do so this week. Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com. Welcome to the family.
So eventually, after several minutes, and you can see, Sammy was overwhelmed by the reaction. His eyes were all red. He's never gotten a reaction. Not at this level, this sustained kind of reaction. Finally, they died down. And Sammy noted that everybody pointed points to the WrestleMania side. Right? Everybody points. You know what I should do? I'll give it. Create my own WrestleMania side. I should print it out. I should print out a picture of the WrestleMania side. I should stick it on the wall right there, right in the corner. And then randomly during these live streams, I can just randomly put on the side. That's what I should do. It says everybody point to the WrestleMania side this time. They point to it because it's the most important show of the year. Tomorrow night, this is once in a lifetime. That's a shoot. I don't think Sami Zayn will ever in his life make a match that he's going to have tomorrow. It's not because he's not talented. I love Sami. Sami's great. But I think we can all agree Sami Zayn against the biggest star in the business, top championship in the company, main event on pay-per-view in his hometown, and for the culmination of this months-long storyline that he's been involved in, the main event, getting a reaction like he got tonight, Sami Zayn will never have a bigger match in his career than he is going to have in Elimination Chamber. So it is, for him, once in a lifetime. He addressed Roman Reigns in French. I have no idea what he said, but the fans popped for it, so he probably told Roman to go fuck himself. I assume he told him to go fuck himself or something like that. He said tomorrow night is not just Roman Reigns against Sami Zayn, it is Roman Reigns against Sami Zayn and the entire city of Montreal. And he said, Roman, he's screaming now. He's almost losing his voice. He says, Roman, he says, you are going down. Slammed the microphone on the floor. Thankfully, when he came out, he wasn't flailing his arms around. What happened all those years ago, I said, Sammy, please control yourself. Please do not flail your arms around and tear both of your rotator cuffs 24 hours from the paper. That would be terrible. It's all fired up. And they played his music again. The crowd started singing along to the song. This was a fantastic close to, an otherwise okay show. I enjoyed the tag team. The tag team match was really good with McIntyre and Sheamus against the Viking Raiders. The Gunther match was, it was fine. Madcap as a challenger, I mean, come on. Nobody expected anything memorable to happen there. So the rest of the show was all right. It was all about that. All about that. And then the Bray segment too. I enjoyed seeing Bray and Uncle Howdy beat the fuck out of the Butthead Road. So that was. Well, the question is, what happens, right? This is it. Roman Reigns against Sami Zayn. This is it. This is Sami's WrestleMania. What do you do? What you do is, I think at some point during this match, Sami Zayn, you can give Sami Zayn the visual. I think there'll be a ref bump. There'll be some stuff that happens. I can see Sami Zayn getting the visual pin. I think the Usos are going to show up, even though Paul Heyman told them to stay home. Apparently, according to Meltzer anyway,
Supply room access.
the issues with Jimmy Uso or both Usos, there's no longer an issue. According to him, they can now travel. It's up to WWE. If Triple H wants to keep them off the show, he can keep them off the show. But they wouldn't be off the show because they're not allowed over the border. That's no longer an issue. And more than Jimmy, it's all about Jimmy, right? Jey Uso still has yet to make a decision on whether or not he's going to be loyal to Roman Reigns. He told his brother last week, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I know what he's going to do. But what we're going to see tomorrow night is Jey Uso is going to make his choice. He is no friend of Sami's. At the end of the day, fall in line because blood is thicker than water. And these men are his family. These men are his blood. He will provide the assist that Roman Reigns needs to beat Sami Zayn and retain his undisputed championship. When the bloodline is once again beating down Sami Zayn, things look bleak, and the fans are chanting for Kevin Owens to come out and save the day. Another fellow Canadian. They're going to play his music. There's going to be an eruption. You haven't seen Kevin Owens since the Royal Rumble. Why do you think that is? They've been saving him. What are they saving him for? The Elimination Chamber. Come out. He's going to clear house. He's going to save Sami. We're going to get the stare down between the two former best friends. They're going to come together, place is going to pop, and we are going to have the stage set for a tag team championship match on night 1 of WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, two men who have all the stuff that they've done, the matches they've had. They've never been tag team champions in WWE. In the past, they talked about how they want to be tag team champions in WWE. Well, now they're going to get their shot. And in the process, they get to end what will end up being a 600-plus day run as tag team champions for Jimmy. And that will be at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will go on to the championship against Cody Rhodes. That story begins to unfold. Starting this Monday on Raw. Built to Roman and Cody. There will be no triple threat. As I've said before, unless WWE really has it out for Cody Rhodes, if Triple H wants to sabotage this fucking guy, you don't do a triple threat. It will be Roman and Cody. It will be the Usos against KO and Zayn. I think Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley will end up headlining night 1 of WrestleMania, but for me, I would headline with the tag team title. I mean, there's a story with Charlotte and Rhea. You can't say there's no story there. There's a story with them that goes all the way back to WrestleMania 36. This story has just been too good. So if it were me, I would actually headline with the tag team titles. That is how I see things playing out.
By hostiles.
Elimination Chamber tomorrow. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotion for the fans in Montreal. But I think they're going to get a hell of a show. Triple H, I think, at the end of the day, stay the course. Now, next Friday on SmackDown, Charlotte and Rhea are going to go face-to-face. Bray Wyatt will be giving us a new Firefly Funhouse segment. And Karrion Kross will go one-on-one with Rey Mysterio. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You guys need to know I'm at my best when I'm able to be productive and get a lot of work done. This past week, I was not as productive as I usually am because I wasn't feeling well, and that sucked. And I hate when I have things to do and I just can't get them done. But I'm at my best when I'm able to do all of the things that I need to do. And there's never any shortage of work to be done. But sometimes life gets in the way, throws challenges your way. Working with a therapist can help you overcome those challenges. And more specifically, working with a therapist with BetterHelp can get you back on the right track. Having used BetterHelp before, which I've talked about, it worked for me, and it can work for you. Even if you've never tried therapy, benefits are clear. They can help you learn positive coping skills, learn how to set boundaries, and it can empower you to be the best version of yourself. So if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's flexible, affordable, entirely online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime with no issues. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you. Visit BetterHelp.com/Solomons today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Solomons. Let's take a look at the Twitter poll. We've got almost 80% thumbs up for tonight's SmackDown from Montreal. 15% thumbs in the middle and only 6% thumbs down. So you guys really love the show tonight. And I'll bet you the majority of that 78% that I'm looking at right there is the Sami Zayn segment at the end of the show. Because again, how can you watch that segment and not get fucking amped up for that main event tomorrow? And I live for that. I live for moments like that when I watch wrestling. I live for the build to a big main event like we're getting tomorrow night. We enjoy that. As long as they don't fuck it up. It would be hard for them to do that. This story's been so good. I think it'd be hard for them to fuck it up. If this were a different regime, I might be worried. But I'm not worried about what Triple H is going to do tomorrow. I think it's all going to work out well. I have faith. I have more faith than I would have under another administration. And speaking of madcap, there it is. He has bashed in the head with a Christmas tree. The super chat comes in from Dr. Dakota. Dr. Dakota Scorpio. Go through your super chats here. I thank you, by the way, for all of the new memberships tonight, especially the gifted memberships. Ray again, thank you, brother. And, all of the super Chad, though, you guys bring this energy to the Elimination Chamber. But I have a big night tomorrow. One of the bigger streams of the year. You know, William, I was happy for him. I was happy that Sandy got that moment. You can see it. It was genuinely emotional for him because how many times has he walked out there in the main event of whether it's Raw, SmackDown, whatever show it may be, and gotten a sustained reaction? You know, it's not something that we've ever seen him get the WWE with. So it's very cool. Winter's Paw, starting us off here with the $5 super chat. I can't stand the Elite, and I seriously don't want Omega and the two middle-aged Meltzer marks in WWE. Let them sink with the ship along with Little T. But we know where Winter's Paw is. He also says Triple H has to be careful with who he brings into the locker room. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Triple H is well aware of that. Triple H is also well aware of who the big names in the business are, and he's going to want to go after those names. Like any good promoter, like any good booker, that's what you do. Names become available, and you go after them. He wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't express interest in some of the biggest names in the business. That would make him a very stupid man. Winter's Paw says, at what point Jay White's WrestleMania match being featured? Hey, Winter's Paw, thanks. I'm not going back to Winter's Paw. You know, the Groundhog saw his shadow, right? So we did 6 more weeks of Winter's Paw here on the show. Winter's Paw, Jay White comes to WWE. I don't think he's coming in before WrestleMania. I see him as the night after WrestleMania debut. So I don't think there is a WrestleMania match. Flamethrower Plug Salisbury. I just got some tickets to some of the Ring of Honor tapings in Orlando. I'm hoping that there is a surprise or two during the shows. I would think Tony Khan's got something up his sleeve. And that building up this Ring of Honor return for so long. Be kind of disappointing if you didn't. Callum Davis, $12 super check. Callum, thank you. Do you feel WWE did a poor job with Ronda returning and ignoring the fact that she lost her title to Charlotte, even though Ronda is a heel and just moved her onto the tag team titles without any explanation? Look, what was it stupid? Yes. Why Ronda Rousey would not come back, and the first thing out of her mouth should be, you jumped me when I was vulnerable. It's the only way you can beat me. I want a rematch for my championship. Right? Logically speaking, that's what she should have done. However, if it gets Ronda Rousey out of the title picture, I'm okay with it. So in this situation, I'm going to excuse that little lapse in booking logic, because I don't want to see Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair again. I don't want to see it. They want Ronda Rousey to go after the tag team titles with Shayna Baszler. I guess.
Friendly control point nearby.
Fire Panda with the $20 super chat, which went off. I heard it go off earlier before we even went live because the super chat triggered. Do we have our own community name? I know channel members are called the Green World. Which, by the way, I didn't give that name to the channel member. You guys came up with. Don't make it sound like that's my creation. The Green World Order, but what about us as a whole community? You're all my little Solomons. Okay? Like Lady Gaga, you're all my little monsters. Thomas Colella with the $5 super chat. What is your opinion of Hayes joining the Hurt Business? If that's the case, then I don't think he's winning the belt against Braun Breaker. I don't necessarily believe the story. I saw even Carmelo Hayes where he responded to it on Twitter. He quote tweeted it. And he said, "This report, I give 1 star to this report. I don't necessarily think it's true. If they wanted to debut Carmelo to be on the main roster as part of a revamp Hurt Business, that's cool. But I don't think he needs it. He doesn't need it. And I think he should get at least a brief run as the NXT